Hello everyone, welcome to the Vayne guide brought to you by Catalyst Gaming. Here I'll be showing you Vayne's skill set. I'll be showing you how to play Vayne. I'll be telling you when to play Vayne and when not to play Vayne. Vayne is a ranged DPS champion, and she is currently one of the strongest in the league. Vayne's skill kit is composed of Night Hunter, her passive, Tumble, Silver Bolts, and her ultimate, Final Hour. Oh, and Condemn as well. Vayne's passive, Night Hunter, allows her to move faster while she's chasing her enemies down, which makes her an excellent chaser slash finisher. Her passive, Silver Bolts, after three strikes to your target, Silver Bolts does a percent of the maximum target's HP and true damage. As you can see, the third tick of Silver Bolts does more damage to this Alistair, which is why Vayne scales so well on attack speed. As you saw, her Q, which is Tumble, it increases. It allows her to tumble wherever her cursor is, and allows her to deal bonus damage on her next attack. This is what you level up first because it lowers down the cooldown, not to mention it gives you a lot more damage potential. Condemn is her skill shot, not actually a skill shot, is her nuke, which pushes back a target enemy, and if the enemy is knocked in the wall, the enemy is stunned. This skill also adds a tick of Silver Bolts onto the target. And finally, Vayne's ultimate, which is Final Hour. For 8 seconds, Vayne gains 25 bonus attack damage, Tumbling grants Vayne stealth for 1.5 seconds, and the bonus movement speed from Night Hunter is tripled, which makes Vayne an absolutely deadly force. Basically, she gains 120 movement speed, she gains a crap load of attack damage, and her tumble, when she tumbles, she turns invisible. Pros and cons for Vayne. One of Vayne's pros is that she's an excellent chaser. She does exceptionally well at chasing down enemy characters, but also she excels at using attack speed to deal damage rather than actually buying items, and how I play her anyway. Of course, you still buy damage items, but she scales so incredibly well with attack speed that you'll want to get items with attack speed. Not to mention, it also boosts her survivability when you get items like Phantom Dancer, because she gains extra movement speed, which she's already a fast mover because of her passive Night Hunter, which just makes her even more deadly. When to play Vayne, when you want to pick Vayne, almost always. She's one of the best ranged carries in the league right now. No contest. Whenever you have the chance, you will want to pick Vayne. But some cons to playing Vayne is that she's very fragile. If even just a few seconds of attacking her, she explodes. But the good thing is she has so many evasive abilities, such as Tumble. She can just tumble away from you. She can condemn you away from her. Also, when she activates her ultimate, she can just stand toe to toe with almost anyone, really. Especially with Silver Bolts. As for skill build, you're gonna want to max out Tumble first, which lowers its cooldown. Basically, you can tumble more, which is good. It allows you to more mobility, more escapes, just better all around survivability and damage. Next, you're going to want to max out Silver Bolts. Most would argue that you want to max out Condemn right after Tumble, but I don't really play Vayne as a burst character. I take one level of Condemn at level 2 for the knockback and for the added value of the stun, of course. When I max out second, though, after I max out Tumble, is I max out her Silver Bolt's ability, which basically increases her damage potential, because after I max out my Silver Bolts, all I have to do is build attack speed, and every third attack, I do more damage, I do true damage. I can just use my ult and just chase someone down and just kill them with my attack speed. Of course, you're gonna want to level Final Hour at 6, 11, and 16. It lowers the cooldown, increases your damage done, and I think it increases the duration of the Final Hour. One of the better ultimates in the game. Certainly not Ash-like quality, but it is a very good ultimate for Vayne's kit. Gives her more mobility, gives her more damage, which also her ultimate, since it gives her bonus attack damage, which is also another reason why you don't have to build damage so much. This is a game I played as Vayne not too long ago, and in this video I'll be showing you a few of her tricks and a few of the reasons why I think she's one of the best range carries in the league currently. For item build, you're gonna want to start off with a Dorian's Blade. If you have a support such as Soraka or Alistair or Taric or anyone with a heal, you're gonna want to buy that extra damage, that extra lifesteal, that extra HP, since your lane partner can TP sustained. Since Vayne is a ranged carry and the current meta right now is support AD carry at bottom, it's better, in my opinion, to start off with to ask your teammates to pick a healing support. Just Alistair, like I said, Alistair, Taric, Soraka, and Sona are really good supports for Vayne. Also, other supports that don't really heal, but such as Janna, Leona, supports like that, they are also very valuable with Vayne, especially Leona and Janna, because it adds CC to her already powerful Condemn. But if you do decide to lane or support with a non-healing support, you're going to want to buy boots and potions first, because your lane partner is going to be good at disabling the enemy opponents, but they're not going to be able to sustain you through the laning phase. So you're going to need to buy that extra mobility, that extra survivability, and to help you stay in lane longer. As for runes and masteries, for runes, I use attack damage quints, I use attack damage yellows, and I use attack damage blues, and also I use armor penetration reds, which gives me 10 bonus attack damage when I start out the game, and also it gives me enough armor penetration to begin with. But also you can use a more defensive build, less so on damage, more defensive. You can get armor yellows, since you're going bottom and it's going to be a ranged support lane anyway. And you can go armor penetration quints, armor penetration reds, armor yellows, and I like to use cooldown reduction per level blues or flat magic resist blues, which allows for more survivability. As for masteries, I go 2109 because of the new masteries. The new offense tree is amazing. I almost always use it on all my characters. I will show you what the mastery tree looks like at the end of the game. In this clip, I'll show you some of Vayne's tips and tricks. As you can see, I used my ultimate, I tumbled in, and I used my condemn immediately on the trundle. I used my tumble to get into position, and then I immediately condemn that trundle towards the wall so that it pushes him against the wall, and also stuns him. You see another use for tumble. Tumble goes through character terrains such as Jarvan's ultimate, Anivia's wall, but it cannot go through through ledges like these ones. You can't tumble from above the ledge to the bottom ledge, but it does work for Anivia walls and Jarvan ultimates. Characters that make immovable terrains. In this clip, I will show you why Vayne is so powerful. Trundle decides to gank me from behind. Of course, this was a pretty ridiculous idea to 1v1 a Vayne with all these minions up here. But he decided to do it, so I just use my ult, and I tumble, and I condemn into the wall. And this cannon tries his luck with me, but because of my mobility and my tumbling, he can't even land a single Q on me, which just allows me to easily pick him off. I also used my tumble to get into position to condemn yet again. And this is why Vayne is so powerful. Is just she has so much mobility, like so much damage. All I have is a block cleaver, which is good for damage, yes, but that's all I really need as damage wise. The Bloodthirster is a luxury item. It gives me sustain through the laning phase. I mean, not the laning phase, sorry. Through the game, where I can just auto attack people. And of course it gives me lifesteal, and if I play smart enough, I'm able to have 20% lifesteal and 100 more attack damage, which is very powerful on Vayne. But for item build, I go Doran's Blade to open, or Boots and Potions, and I also get I try to rush a Block Cleaver if my farm is well enough. Like this game, I have the highest farm on my team. That Ezreal outfarmed me a little, but I do have 3 kills, which allowed me to buy the Block Cleaver extremely early. I was able to just buy a Block Cleaver after I returned to base after the initial laning phase. After a Block Cleaver, you get Block Cleaver for attack speed, damage, and armor penetration. After the Block Cleaver, I go Phantom Dancer and Berserker Greaves, whichever comes first. Phantom Dancer because it gives me more movement speed, it gives me more attack speed, which in turn triggers Silver Bolts. It gives me more critical damage, which makes me hit a lot more for a lot more. Watch this clip right here where I exhaust the Ezreal, I condemn him, and then I just rip through his HP with my attack speed, tumble, and Silver Bolts. And yeah, that's basically how and why you play Vayne. After the initial Block Cleaver, Berserker Greaves, Phantom Dancer, you can choose to go into Bloodthirster if you're doing very well, or you can go switch to defensive items such as the Banshee's Veil and the Guardian's Angel. I like to build a Bloodthirster if I'm doing really well. If I'm kinda not doing that well, I go into Banshee's Veil for more survivability, since I do have my Block Cleaver and Phantom Dancer, which is enough for me, which is enough damage for Vayne. Thank you for tuning in to Catalyst Gaming and watching this Vayne guide. I hope you learned a thing or two. Please leave any comments or suggestions in the comments below. And also, there's a poll on my channel page, which asks which champion guide you guys want to see next. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.